Now, the global demand for poultry meat and egg is growing at a phenomenal rate. Naui Poultry Farm is one such farm that is situated at Iihongo village in the Oshikoto region. They farm with chickens, quails, and ducks, majoring in table eggs production and breeding. Now, to give us more details on farming with poultry is Willem Amutenya, who is the managing director at Naui Poultry. A very good evening, Mr. Amutenya. Thank you so much for joining us on the Daily Roundup.
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You're doing well.
All right. Mr. Amtenya, help us understand the difference between poultry and horticulture.
Yeah, no, with poultry, we are talking about birds, actually in the range of chickens. We are talking about quails. We can mention the ducks, the turkeys, the doves, and all that. While horticulture is more on the vegetables, the vegetables like the cabbage, the spinach. Yeah, those ones are that's horticulture. So that's the difference between horticulture and poultry.
All right. Now, talk to us about Namwi Poultry. When was it established?
Yeah, no, we started with Namwe Poultry in 2015, where we started basically. I must be very, very frank that when I started with Namwe Poultry Farm, it was basically when my lovely mom, she's late now, she was a nurse and then she had heart problems. So she then had to get booked off from work, and therefore I felt I should get her something to do while she's on her medical retirement. But later on, we realized she couldn't do so. But then I decided to continue trying out based on growing chickens. And by then, I was actually based in Windhoek. So I started, that was 2015, where we were buying chicks, large scale from Windhoek, and then we shipped them down to Iihongo village, where then they had to grow for 5 to 6 months, and then I had to sell them for meat. Basically targeting those that have events like weddings and any other events where chickens are mostly consumed. And we grew. Then from there, we realized there's really a market, and it's easy to manage. And feed by then was also not expensive as compared to now. And then we expanded to growing chicks because we had a machine. So we had to then hatch the eggs and then start breeding or selling chicks for those farmers that want as well to expand.
All right.
When we got the good experience in the farming, we also then started with the training the community members and all other, mostly the northern area. That's when we also then gave trainings with different, in collaborations with private and Ministry of Agriculture, the University of Namibia as well. We give training sometimes free, sometimes we charge a limited amount just for such a training.
All right. Mr. Amtenya, talk to us about some of the day to day challenges of farming with poultry and how do you overcome these challenges?
I must start with the first major one that we are really battling with now, which is the cost of production. Basically, the cost of feed. Feed has become so much expensive. Like as we speak now, our major, we are on layers, so we are producing table eggs. And with table eggs, the chickens, the brown lohman that we have, they have specific feed that they eat, that is layer mesh. And as we speak, even today, I went to Ondangwa to buy my feed, and to my surprise, I found the price has increased again. A bag of 50 kg that is taking us 547, and our chickens eat 2 bags per day, two full bags per day. That is around 1,000 layers that we have at the farm. So every day we must spend $1,000. So the feed is extremely expensive, and that is basically because of the uh, what is this? That we only have a feed master that is supplying feed to this country, and therefore it's a very, very biggest challenge. To overcome it, unfortunately, like what we are doing today, as from tomorrow, we have also to increase the price of our eggs, which obviously have another effect on our clients as they also buy to sell, some cook, or some go and bake, and some also sell in their shops. So it's a very big concern. Another one is basically when it comes to the workers. Namibian people, to be honest, more especially my generation, that's the youth, they are quite a problem when it comes to having that interest to work in a farm as this, where you get the people, they only stay here for some time, and all of a sudden they leave. And so the stability of your human resource is the biggest concern. That is one of the challenges. And you want to have a worker that have to stay with you for longer because of the experience that you want from the person, the stability, and so forth. Because the moment the worker leaves, you expect to start over again, training and giving, exposure to the new worker. Another one is biosecurity, the issue of diseases. That is also a problem, because then these chickens are very much volatile, sensitive to infections. So that is another challenge. But with the infections, what we do, we have a strong, detailed biosecurity where we have disinfectants throughout, and water baths and all that. So that one is not really much of a problem. But those are basically the challenges when it comes to poultry and horticulture production, but basically on poultry production.
Right. Now, Mr. Amutenya, besides poultry, what else do you farm at Namwe Poultry?
What we do, okay, let me tell you that we have the brown lockmen that are giving us eggs. Then we have the turkeys, we have the ducks, so we have very few of the quails. We have the greener foals that are just, those ones we just have them at the farm for the sake, just for us, because those are the good securities of the farm actually. And what we do also, then we have an orchard at the farm, because then poultry give us a lot of chicken manure that is quite rich in nitrogen needed by the plant. So we then have those chicken manure that we compost and turn them into a good manure that we even sell out to the market. We even do it as a compost, adding some carbon through the grass, and then we sell to those that are much on the horticulture. So that's basically what we do. And yes, in that we then also have the consultation part of the farm when it comes to the agricultural setup. So many of our clients come through also for consultation in terms of horticulture and poultry.
Mr. Amutenya, thank you so much for talking to us about poultry, and we wish you all the best with what's left of the year.
No, thank you very much. But otherwise, I should just encourage our young people, youth there who are not employed, that there is a market out there in poultry. That as much as we are trying to see how best we can get employment, I think poultry can be a solution as well to those that are not employed. That they can always start up something to really earn them something on the table. It's not so much demanding to start a poultry farm. It's something that everyone can do. I do not do agriculture, but one can easily run a poultry farm, provided that one is obviously disciplined and work well with your numbers. Otherwise, it's a good opportunity that many of our young people can actually get something for them to do, not only for that, but also to ensure that we have food security in this country. Thanks a lot, eh?
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Amutenya.
Goodbye.
By Willem Amutenya, who is the managing director of Namwe Poultry, talking to us about poultry. And he did also just put a few encouraging words for the youth right there